Hello, hello, hello. I am your host OCL, and welcome back to 1 Century Later. Today we'll be taking a look at all events from May 2nd to May 8th, 1926. As with last week, all of my sources are in the description down below. Sunday, May 2nd, 1926. The man-eating leopard of Rudraprayag was shot and killed by hunter Jim Corbett after tracking the leopard for almost 6 months. The killing shot was fired at approximately 10 p.m. local time the previous day, however the kill wasn't confirmed until the following morning. Over the course of 8 years, the leopard killed over 125 people. However, the real number is likely much higher as the number does not account for indirect deaths. For instance, in one event, a young boy fell ill at night and no one dared go to the hospital for medicine, fearing for the leopard, and the boy died. It was theorized that the leopard first tasted human meat during the 1918 Spanish flu that killed many in India, most of whom were not buried properly. Following the military coup by President Emiliano Chamorro Vargas in Nicaragua, a civil war broke out when exiled rebels led by José María Moncada, Partido Liberal, landed and seized the city of Bluefields on Nicaragua's eastern coast, with the goal of making the exiled former vice president, Dr. Juan Sacasa, the new president of Nicaragua. Monday, May 3rd, 1926. Miangul Abdul Wadud was elected as the Wali of the princely state of Swat in British India by the colonial government following the death of the previous Wali, Syed Abdul Jabbar Shah. Wadud would rule as the Wali until his abdication in 1947, when Swat was integrated into Pakistan with the independence of India and the creation of Pakistan and Bangladesh. Also on this day, Victor Prince Napoleon, descendant of Napoleon Bonaparte and the Bonapartist pretender to the throne of France, passed away at the age of 63. Victor was recognized as Napoleon V as the head of the House of Bonaparte by the Bonapartists. Louis Prince Napoleon inherited the claim to the Bonapartist pretender to the French throne. And also on this day, following a breakdown in negotiations between the General Council of the Trades Union Congress and the British government to end the coal miner strike in the UK, the Trades Union Congress called for a nationwide general strike at 11:59 p.m. local time in support of the miners. Tuesday, May 4th, 1926. The first full day of the British general strike saw over 1.5 million employees striking in the railroad, public transport, and textile industries, striking in solidarity with the locked-out coal miners. 205 labor unions participated in the strike on the first day, with more than 750,000 workers of the Miners' Federation, 327,000 from the National Union of Railway Workers, and 335,000 from the United Textile Workers Association joining in on the strike. Wednesday, May 5th, 1926. The former chairman of the Trans-Caspian government, Fyodor Funtikov, was executed in Baku, Azerbaijan, Soviet Socialist Republic. Funtikov was responsible for ordering the 1918 execution of 26 Baku Commissars, a group of Bolsheviks and communists in the Baku Commune. Also on this day, Prime Minister of Poland, Aleksander Sierkiński, and his government resigned following the resignation of the socialist members of the government after taking office in November 1925. And lastly on this day, two newspapers, the British Worker and the British Gazette, began publication in the United Kingdom, filling the void created by the general strike. The British Worker supported the strike, while the British Gazette opposed it. Both newspapers ceased publication shortly after the strike ended. The British Gazette ceased publication on May 13th, and the British Worker on May 17th. Thursday, May 6th, 1926. Germany's parliament, the Reichstag, voted on the Verständigung, a proposal for the seizure of the properties of the former ruling families of the Weimar Republic without compensation. The proposal failed with a final vote of 236 against to 142 for, and a referendum of the German public was scheduled for June 20th. To overturn the failed proposal, at least 20 million people would need to vote for the proposal during the referendum. Friday, May 7th, 1926. During the fifth day of the British general strike, MP Herbert Samuel, the representative of the British government, negotiated with Walter Citrine, the leader of the Trades Union Congress, and A.J. Cook, the leader of the Miners' Federation of Great Britain, to end the workers' strike. The Trades Union Congress agreed to the proposed plan, but the Miners' Federation rejected it, and the strike continued. Following the beginnings of the Nicaragua Civil War in Bluefields, Nicaragua, a small force of 213 U.S. Navy sailors from the cruiser USS Cleveland landed at Bluefields to protect U.S. citizens and property during the Civil War. Saturday, May 8th, 1926. Belgium's Prime Minister Prosper Poulet announced his resignation after less than a year as Prime Minister, beginning his tenure in June 1925. Poulet was sworn in through the coalition between Catholics and Socialists. However, growing financial instability and a bank crisis in Belgium widened the divide between the two parties, forcing Poulet to resign from office. He would remain in office until May 20th, when his resignation was confirmed. Also on this day, English documentary broadcaster and naturalist Sir David Attenborough was born in Isleworth, London, England. Attenborough is alive today and will be celebrating his 100th birthday on Friday in a party at the Royal Albert Hall. And lastly, Black Pirate, directed by Albert Parker, the first color feature film, premiered at the Selwyn Theatre in New York City and the Tivoli Cinema in London. Due to the cost of Technicolor film reels, the movie was one of the most expensive movies at the time, created on a budget of $1.3 million. That is all. See you next week for all events from Sunday, May 9th, 1926 to Saturday, May 15th, 1926. Thank you for watching, and see you next week.